Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo.
I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised about how racist our country really is. Yeah, it seemed like it had gotten better, now it's back again. Well, I guess it never really went away. Yeah, in Ireland it was Catholics and the Protestants. Seems like people gotta find some excuse to hate each other. The way that is. Rex, you mentioned that we have like a tribal mentality, right? Yes, sir. And I think leaders take advantage of that. I think the easiest way for an unethical leader to unite people is to just get them hating on the other group of people. Yeah, I was listening to this show about the subconscious programming that we receive when we're little kids. Oh yeah, I think that plays a huge part in it. All this bigotry is just a big bunch of nonsense from start to finish. I mean, all you gotta do is just look around. You can see people of all races and everything just succeeding in all different arenas of life, and it doesn't matter what color your skin is. I'll tell you, buddy, if you think your skin, you're superior just because your skin is a certain color, man, you better wake up and smell the roses. Men have tried real hard to keep women down too. We sure have. Women couldn't even vote in this country until 1920. Well, sure, you look around, you see women running big corporations and driving race cars, all kinds of things. I think it's just plain wrong to try to oppress people. I mean, at the risk of sounding like an ad for the Marine Corps, I think everybody has the right to be all they can be. Yeah, it's better for society too, you know? I mean, we don't know who's gonna make the next big discovery. It could come from man, woman, it doesn't matter, race, it could come from anybody. You said in Buddhism we're all equal, right, Chuck? Yeah, you know, I always keep coming back to Bodhisattva never disparaging. It just gets clearer and clearer to me why he's the main character of the Lotus Sutra. He's the one that went around and he was bowing respectfully to everybody, right? Right. And I think it's worth mentioning that the people that he was bowing and respecting actually tried to injure him by throwing rocks and tiles at him. Oh, did they now? Yeah, they did. You know, now that I think about it, I can see that that's a very important component to the story. Well, I reckon it was because he was able to look beyond the surface and see the goodness in people. Just what we're talking about, right? Looking past the surface of people. I mean, if you think about it, looking past the surface and seeing the good in people, that spirit could hold the key to world peace and the spirit to forgive as well. Jack, do you really think in your heart of hearts that it's possible to end all these wars? Sean, I think that there's always going to be conflicts. I mean, it's just part of life. It's necessary. I mean, I think it's even healthy. But it's like, you know, we have conflicts with our family members, people at work and stuff. It's not like we whip out a gun and start shooting people, right? Not unless you're some kind of nutter. I wonder why so many people think that it's acceptable to go to, you know, another country and kill people, you know? I mean, it's not like our government gives us much of a choice though either. I mean, if you get drafted, it's either you go to war or you go to prison. You know, I am actually very optimistic that there's going to come a time when we don't have these wars like we're having right now. Really? Yep, and I'll tell you why. In Buddhism, there's a concept called dependent origination. And basically what it says is that we're all connected. And when there's a shift in consciousness, it affects everybody. I don't quite get you, Jack. Okay, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so there was this group of scientists that were studying these monkeys on these islands, right? And at some point, these monkeys, one group of the monkeys on one island started to use some kind of a tool to crack open a coconut or something like that. But the interesting part is that the monkeys on the other islands all started to do it at the same time. And there was no way that these monkeys could have communicated. Okay, I've heard tell of such things. Okay, so I think people are connected in the same way. In Buddhism, we call it dependent origination, but it's also called collective consciousness. Some people are calling it the quantum field, quantum entanglement. I'm still waiting for the part that makes you feel optimistic. Okay, this is a little far out there, but I have noticed that like on places like YouTube, there's just like this explosion of information now on these channels that talk about, for example, near-death experiences. And they're talking about the same things that we sit around here and talk about, you know, Buddhist concepts, but they're using different language in some cases. But it's the same basic ideas, like these near-death experiences, people that, you know, go and come back and stuff, they talk about going to a place of like pure love, like something that you can't even experience it here on earth. Really? Yeah, and when they come back, they're convinced that we continue beyond this existence. And you know what, in Buddhism, what we call that? Reincarnation. Yep. And my point is that these concepts are sweeping through the collective consciousness right now. They're becoming part of the zeitgeist. And like this, one of these channels that I watch where they have all these near-death experiences, the channel only had, I mean, it's only been going for like a couple of years now. It's already got like almost 1 million subscribers. I see where you're going with this. What I'm saying, Rex, is that I think the spirit of Bodhisattva never disparaging is sweeping through our collective consciousness right now. And people are waking up to the fact that our lives and our consciousness continue beyond this present existence. Oh, that's deep, so it is. Okay, so I see what you're saying, and you know, I have to say that it's given me some hope. But you know, at the same time, it's like things seem to be worse than ever right now. Well, have you ever noticed that sometimes things have to come to a head before real change takes place? That's true. Look at all the corruption that's being exposed right now. I mean, it's always been there, but now it's coming to the surface. Yeah, I guess you can't really deal with something until you get it out in the open. Well, there you go.
Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo.